Election day, and it's 4:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. What year? Every year? James L. Dolan is a born executive. His father owns a company. We still have some collating to do. I just collated the original copy, which goes to the clerk. This is filed in the United States District Court, District of Delaware. 20th cause of action. The cablevision system in 20 municipalities in central Westchester, Rye, White Plains, Greenberg, Eastchester, Scarsdale, Bronxville, Inter Alia, have no system-wide public access. Residents are in the medieval ages. Glendora's TV program has not been seen in these 20 municipalities since May the 1st, 1996. 160 other public access producers have been similarly damaged. Similarly damaged. We got a white streak going down the middle. Dolan is using up a cartridge, so those will have to be done over. Turn it off. The Dolans, through Cablevision Systems Corporation, thereby violate Title 47 U.S. Code Section 521 et sequitur. Congress's intent that the public should have the widest possible diversity of information. First Amendment free speech, First Amendment right of the public, your right to know, and editorial control, 531E. 21st cause of action. The utter escape and fugitivism, the arrogant but immature to be accountable, to take responsibility, is outrageous. They have dealt in bad faith with plaintiff for 6 years. Their lie count is over 1,000. Former yesterday put it above 1,025. Defendants are bad corporate citizens. Does the court wonder what they are covering up? What terrible crimes they have and are committing, that they so vigorously and desperately violate the law in broad daylight? Even as lawless as is Texaco Incorporated, they know enough under Delaware law to show Glendora the shareholders list, sua sponte. Glendora walks in, and unasked, the legal department says, "Do you want to see the shareholders list?" What is it with the Dolans? Battery just ran out. Copy cartridge just ran out. 22nd cause of action. Dolan through Satterley woefully violate the Federal Communications Commission mandate for the public file. And Glendora has a private right of action. It means I don't have to go to the FCC. It means I can sue them in a district court. Glendora has a witness to everything she says in this complaint. Thomas J. Hillgartner is sued for giving Glendora his word that he would stand behind her on her right to see the shareholders list and, quote, "I will go to court with you," unquote. Then he went back on his word and defected to Cablevision. Glendora is a shareholder of record since 1994. Cablevision Systems Corporation is a Delaware corporation. Whenever Glendora calls investor relations, that is Sal House, Maureen switches Glendora to insecurity, the front desk, or to the insecurity office. Butch. They do not know beans. Whenever Glendora or Franklin go to Bethpage to see the shareholder list, Sal House sandbags us with Ryan and Lavalia. Whenever Glendora or Franklin go to Bethpage to see the shareholder list, Salhouse sandbags us with Ryan and Lavalia. Rule 8. This is a Rule 8, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, notice complaint. Glendora has 23,000 pages of documentation. Voting trust. Glendora will be asking for the court's protection on the following. No Dolan hanky-panky. And the voting trust is that I can go in and ask to see the record of voting trust. And it must be given to me on the same terms as the shareholders list must be given to me. And I'm going to make that demand. Callaghy, Satterley are sued on the same causes as Dolan through Chase Mellon. Defendants have acted in bad faith for 6 years. They are bad corporate citizens. Does the court wonder what evil Dolan through Chase have committed and are committing, that they will go to such extremes to cover up by breaking the law in broad daylight? Paragraph 70 is reserved. Here comes the wherefore, the demand for relief. Glendora seeks the following relief. A. Punitive and compensatory damages of $83 million. B. The annulment of whatever happens at the November 10th meeting. C. Immediate release for her inspection, the true and certified shareholder ledger of 100 pages under Rule Section 219. The same to her agent with no prohibition or on either to make extracts pursuant to Section 1315 New York State Business Corporation Law. E. The release to Glendora of the record of voting trust certificate holders pursuant to Section 1316 upon her proper request. F. An immediate end to the intervention of security hires precluding Glendora's shareholder business at headquarters, and an order that Salhouse herself appear and answer Glendora's requests. A certified disclosure statement as to who attended each board meeting and each committee meeting in the year 2000. H. An order that Glendora is allowed to attend the next board meeting. I. The resumption of system-wide public access on Channel 8 in the 20 municipalities in Westchester, blacked out May 1st, 1996. J. Total compliance with the FCC mandate for the public file. K. A fine of $500 per day for every day they violate any of the laws cited herein. L is reserved. M. The cost of this action. N. Together with any further relief just and proper. Dated White Plains, New York, November 5th, 2000. Yours in truth, Glendora. Another mailing list. Chase Mellon, Shareholder Services. Robert Callaghy, Satterley, T.J. Hilgartner. Richard Einhorn. Steve Shea, New York State Public Service Commission. Chairman, Federal Trade Commission. Chairman, Federal Communications Commission. Chairman, Securities and Exchange Commission. Secretary of State, New York. Secretary of State, Delaware. Newsday, Senator Schumer, Robert M. Goldberg, May Newberger, Doreen Banks, Town Board Member Connor in North Hempstead, Town Board Member Durso in North Hempstead, and Town Board Member number 4 in North Hempstead. The address of the defendants is 111 Stewart Avenue, Bethpage, New York, 11714. I gotta make sure that that address is in here. Yes, it's right here. And the telephone number. I'd like to have you call up that telephone number. 516-803-2300. 803-2300. And say, is Charles F. Dolan there? No, he isn't. When do you expect him? Is James Dolan there? No, he isn't. When do you expect him? Is Robert Lumley there? No, he's in California all week. When do you expect him? Okay, is William Bell there? No. So, that's the lawsuit. The plan is to for Franklin to serve this on defendants Dolan through Astorita personally at 1111 Stewart Avenue, Bethpage, to serve it by mail on Chase Mellon, Satterley, Stevens, Burke, and Burke. They're liar for hire. Cablevision's one of Cablevision's many liars for hire, and on Callaghy, and on Thomas Hilgartner. How much money do you want to spend on a funeral? You can spend anywhere on a funeral from $200, $500 up to $7,000. How do you want the money to go after you die? you're the one who makes the decision. If you don't put that in writing, and if you don't go out and get the prices of funerals, and it's a state law that they have to tell you over the telephone, then your money may not be spent the way you want it to be spent. You may want the $7,000 to go to something else instead of a funeral. So I advise you, as a member of the Westchester Consumer Funeral Planning Association, I advise you to put it down in writing so that your people will know exactly what you wanted, and they won't be snickered by a funeral director into a huge amount of money that you would rather see go somewhere else. That's the reminder I make every week. Second reminder I make every week is John P. de Blasi, Supreme Court, so p.m. 49. That's good. Where did you go first? You walked Rusty, excuse me. And did he eat a lot of grass?
He would eat, not as much as sometimes.
And then what happened? You and Rusty went to Bethpage? Yes is the answer.
Yeah, that's right.
What happened?
11 o'clock.
So we got here at 9 and Franklin was until 11 o'clock getting to Bethpage. So Marie and Susan and Helen were there.
Right. And I told Marie about Friday. I said we saw Mr. Foreman on Friday, and in connection with the Delaware law, which says that a shareholder may that the shareholder list should be available at all times in business hours for 10 days before any meeting of shareholders. And we saw Mr. Foreman, and he brought us lists, and we saw them, looked at them, but the problem was that one of them couldn't be a correct list because we noted so many names of people we know that were missing. And I was back today both to see the shareholders list, the real one, the valid one, in connection with the New York state law and also the Delaware law. And so she called, and I went and sat down, and in about 15 minutes she came over and
Marie?
Marie did, yes. She said it would be a few minutes, which suggested to me that possibly Forma or somebody was coming down. Anyway, she said it would be a few minutes, that somebody would be there. And so at 11:30 he hadn't come, and at 11:45,
Did you have your times?
yeah,
Oh, you read a lot then.
I was just about to decide to, at 11:45 I was about ready to ask one of the receptionists to take the papers. And then all of a sudden there was Charlie Foreman, quarter out. He had a big stack of papers. And he wanted to know what was my basis for wanting to see what was my reason. And I said what the reason was. He said, "Are you a stockholder?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, the Delaware law doesn't say anything about an agent. It says it is shown to a shareholder, be available to a shareholder, 10 days before a meeting." And I said, "No, I didn't think so." So I looked at the law, or the part of it that's on page 2 there of the paper.
Yes.
And certainly there it doesn't say anything about an agent. Performance that the New York state law says agent, the Delaware law doesn't. I guess before that came up, I had pointed out to him again the fact that what we had Friday couldn't be the stockholder list because it didn't include everybody. And then he showed that he had brought the A and the B lists with him. And I said, "That isn't complete." He said, "Well, it's what they represented to me as being the stockholders list."
Okay, who is they?
The transfer agent.
Oh, that's who they is? Okay.
And he said, "You could see it today. I couldn't. I'm not a shareholder."
You mean that same old list we saw
Same
Friday?
old list, yeah, which I said.
We don't want to see it.
Yeah, I said.
You
No,
see?
and he said, "Well, I think you probably have something for me." And I said, "Yes, we do." He said, "Is that a new suit?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "I'd like to serve it on
10 Cablevision defendants.
The 10 first name, 10 defendants. And he said, oh sure. And he immediately signed under where I had written, received a copy for each of the first 10 defendants.
That was a good way to put it.
And he wrote right under it. He wrote received, and he wrote his name, and he wrote the date, and he wanted the time. What's the time? And he put the time in. So,
What time was it?
11:50.
Uh-huh.
So that was that.
And then you left.
And then I left. And I walked Rocky.
And you walked Rocky at Bethpage.
I hadn't walked it when I got there because reasonably soon after he had walked it.
Okay, now. So you and Mr. Former parted.
Yeah.
At 5 minutes to 1, a telephone call came from me while I was editing. And it was not you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You said you'd call me at 1 o'clock.
Yes, and I'll tell you about that after you tell me about this.
Okay, and it was Charles Former. And it's very hard for me to take a call when I'm editing.
Yeah.
And I was talking about him. It was a part of the program where I was talking about Charles Former.
Oh.
Patrick answered the phone and handed it to me. So I turned down the audio and let the tape run and put up a graphic, generalized graphic, and I took the call after a little delay, and he says, hello Glendora, he says, I am sorry to bother you while you are editing. But I called to tell you, Glendora, that you are right. That was not the right list. And he says, you can come back and see this list whenever you want to. You can come back Wednesday, or you can come this afternoon Tuesday, or tomorrow Wednesday or Thursday. I did not say anything at all about it. And he said it has the same cover as the other list, and when Vicky picked it up, she picked up the other list by mistake. And he says, what is our motive? He says, there's no motive. And I said, okay, I will try to reach you. What's your travel schedule for the rest of the day and tomorrow and so forth? And he says, oh, I will be here in the building. And I said, then around 5:30, I hope to be done. I'm on the 6th edition now, and I think there's only 11. And I said, I hope to be done, and I will try to call you at 5:30. Okay, the floor is yours.
Well, that's really something.
No, you're plotting and driving, okay.
Very good.
Well, do you want to make up a story what you think happened in between the time you served him that lawsuit and the time you called me? In other words, between...
An hour. 11:15.
Yes, an hour. That's right, 1 hour. Do you care to speculate?
suppose they must have just wanted it firsthand that we didn't, that we were convinced, we considered that the one that he brought was not the valid one because names are missing. Maybe he just wanted to have that more directly from us. That's our conclusion. We don't believe it is this. You representing me.
Sorry, I didn't drop the camera, but it almost did. Have to say?
Yeah, that covers it. That's what strikes me is their reason.
Okay. Well, I think it goes a whole lot deeper than that. The lawsuit says, and the lawsuit clearly shows that they were wrong. And the lawsuit, as a relief, asks that everything conducted at the November 10th meeting be annulled on the basis that they had broken the Delaware law and acted illegally.
Right. That's certainly a lot, yeah.
And I would speculate that he read that lawsuit, that complaint, and decided he'd better do something. Because I had him. I had him cornered.
Right.
And because he would at least try to make amends
Right.
and look good in front of the court. But the thing is that he has damaged me. I don't have time now to communicate with the other shareholders.
Right.
I couldn't communicate with them Friday because it was all donuts. And now it's too late for me to communicate with them before the Friday meeting. So my claim is still there.
Yeah.
Or somebody else saw the lawsuit higher than Charles Former and told him to remedy it. Franklin says that he would think that Charles Former would have taken the copies to the other people right away. I think just the opposite. He would keep them from seeing him as long as he could. What did you say?
Again, in your favor.
Well, it's a tremendous victory.
Yes.
When have you ever heard Cablevision say they did anything wrong
Right.
or they made a mistake?
Right.
5:30, I called him
Right.
and I said I would be there at 8:30 Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. And he asked if I could make it 9:30. And I asked, will I be able to make copies? And he says, the same rules apply. Meaning I won't be able to make copies. He called at the very moment that I was getting ready for TV, my reading of the lawsuit. Oh, after Bethpage, and what happened?
I went to the Hicksville post office
Oh,
and I wrote my 2 affirmations.
well, I'm so glad you had that lawsuit served before he called.
Yeah.
Although he didn't mention anything about my withdrawing it. But you had it all done and posted,
Yes.
so it couldn't be changed. How much did it cost to mail the 19?
$24. All of them but a couple, 99 cents.
Yeah, that's okay. It was only 30 pages.
Yeah, I wondered about it.
I don't know why a couple. One I can understand. The court would be double.
I think two of them were $1.43.
And then you wrote your affirmation and you put one affirmation in with the court.
Yeah.
And you just gave me the other.
Right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Then where'd you go after the Hicksville post office?
Well, then it was about 1:30 or so. And
Well, that's very good.
I
You
thought,
didn't have to stand in line.
oh yes, had to stand in line, actually. And considering that time and remembering how the northern state is always so heavily clogged going east in the later afternoon, you know, how we'll be going west and we'll see these long lines of cars going east. I thought, now if I go now
Yeah.
to the seventh day,
Where'd you go
seventh
next?
day,
You went to the 7th day.
and I called you, and the line was busy. See, Rob apparently gave me the upstairs number instead of the downstairs number. The number was busy all the time. So I said, well, I'll call later, not later on. So I went to the seventh day. I got sausages
Vegetarian sausages.
and stripples.
Bacon.
And I got
Vegetarian
another
bacon.
box of smoked.
Vegetarian corned beef.
Yes, of course, Katie. And our Hungarian friend was there, and she asked about you.
Yolana. I'm not friends with any Hungarians ever since Kasari. How much did it cost?
$9 or something.
They're too expensive. Then where'd you go?
Then I went to
Great Neck.
Great Neck.
And you picked up the Hidden Truth.
Yeah.
Did you get any chat with Glendora?
No, they didn't.
Who was there?
The same two, Shirley was there. And she sort of told me, she said, some important meeting when you were here last week. And I said, yeah, it was sort of prestigious. And she said it was lawyers from Washington in connection with the renewal of their franchise. I guess some local lawyers too. And I said, well, that looked like I thought it was the board of directors. She said that some of the directors were there. She said it was a good meeting.
I hope they haven't renewed that franchise yet.
She said, of course, we have some trouble with cable there. She said everybody does.
Well, that's good. See the idiot passing on the right? That big tie-up was for the Long Island Expressway?
Yes. The exits of the expressway.
The entrance.
Which is probably exacerbated by the fact that whatever work they're doing,
Destruction. And from Great Neck you went to Angela?
That's right.
Were there any patients?
Not that I saw.
Was her husband there?
No. The doctor was at the computer.
Can you pick it up next week?
No, she gave me a little time to read it through. So she didn't want it right. She didn't want it.
Well, I want it back next week.
There, I walked
Rusty.
Rusty. And also, when I started the car there, it wouldn't start.
Got to Lynbrook around 4:30, right? I edited 11 programs. It was, most of it, 95% of it was the Cablevision law breaking of not showing Glendora shareholder, the shareholders list. I started at 9 and I finished at 4:30. And the person who had made an appointment to edit at 1 p.m. Canceled. And Rebecca Carley was supposed to edit at 5 p.m. and she canceled. So Patrick was there all alone.
Cancellation, you would think there might be.
Yeah, we never cancel. Never. What time is it now, please?
6:19.
We're coming up the ramp to the Fogs Neck Bridge. Hillary won easily. There's a question of less than half of a percentage point in Florida. And Gore conceded, and Gore called back and said it's too early to concede. Glendora listened to the calls on the recorder. is it now, please?
6:19.
We're coming up. There's a question of less than half of a percentage point in Florida. And Gore conceded, and Gore called back and said it's too early to concede. Glendora listened to the calls on the recorder. There were 9 calls from White Plains and 4 calls from Huntington. I don't know if they're worth listening to. Many of them were election calls, and the people who called liked to joke. And this is the paper, lined paper, and a ruler, and 2 pens, and clear paper in case that Charles Former and Cablevision stop the cheat and follow the law 1315, for which I made a demand September 26th. Follow that law and stop precluding our right to make copies and having my agent make copies. That would be so much better if he would do that. And we could get out of there early and go to the public file and then go to Queens and hand in tapes. I would hand in the 3/4 inches that I made yesterday, since we're going through the route backwards, again because of Cablevision law breaking. See, ordinarily we would go Yonkers, Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. Now we will have to go Bethpage, Woodbury, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Yonkers. Tomorrow is Harrison and Port Chester. So what shall we do? First thing we shall do is bring this log up to date. And make the to-do list for today. Terrible how Cablevision law breaking has backed everything up. The Supreme Court, Portland, Oregon is giving us a hard time, and it looks if they persist they will be sued also. The suit against the Washington D.C. public access, there's just loads of legal papers all piled up. And of course the chat with Glendora, as you know, takes 8 or 9 hours. Labeling and signing and wrapping. That isn't going to get done. So let's make sure we get the Woodbury part of it done today before we leave. We have to leave at 7:30, 8:30. Okay, so we got 4 tapes for Queens. They're brand new tapes just made yesterday. 4 editions. All about Dolan, Delaware. We got out the Bronx tapes. 5 of those because there's 5 Thursdays. We were able to assign 1 for Nassau and 1 for Hauppauge. And then we assigned 2 specials for Bennett for Nassau. Staten Island, that's no problem. It's the 5th 3/4 inch goes to Staten Island. We assigned 1 to Yonkers. And it's very difficult to go away and leave all of that work undone. Very difficult. But again, it's the Dolan law breaking. Dressed, Franklin packed a lunch. Glendora brought up the 1993 Lincoln and loaded it. And we left at 5 after 8. 3/4 an hour late. And then Glendora remembered that she had forgotten the Manhattan tapes. So a trip back there. And asked Bunt The tree murderers. Tree murderers. And now what time is it, Franklin?
9:21.
Headed for the hutch. Took Rusty for walk number 2, and he's not sitting up looking out the windshield as he does when it's so cute. Franklin got gas in Long Island, and it was $1.65. Is that right, Franklin? What is it over here?
$1.68.
So this is Rip-Off County, as I've told you so many times. There's that aqueduct, or whatever it was, that was sawed off by the Hutchison. Let us thank God together that this is the 22nd day of sunshine. Consecutive day of sunshine. We had 2 days of rain, a Monday and a Tuesday, and 7 days of sunshine before that. We hate tolls. Website, We Hate Tolls. Citizens Against Tolls. Out goes the hand, in goes the money. And Lloyd says that these are intercity or intracity bridges. Now we shouldn't be paying for them.
Thank you.
What did he do to his hand?
These are what?
His hand is injured, and he's our friend. Lloyd says that these bridges are between boroughs. They're intercity bridges.
I see.
Well, they are.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The Queensboro.
Yeah. All in New York.
Yes, they're all inside the city of New York.
Right. And it's the City Bridge Authority, Bridge and Tunnel Authority.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also he points out that the Port Authority, that the government cannot open their books. The federal government cannot open their books. He is really pretty good on the soapbox, but I don't think he does anything. I wasn't that convinced that he would put the signs up, but I gave them to him anyway. That truck down there blew its horn at Franklin, so I put my sign up in the rear window. You had a bad mother. And I put it at the side window when he passed. What time is it, please, Franklin?
547,
Thank you. What road are we on?
Northern State,
Thank you. At what town?
Hicksville.
Thank you.
We just passed the 106, 107, 107 entrance, whatever you want to call it, Broadway.
All right. So where did we leave you this morning? We got to Bethpage 45 minutes late. And I apologize. I brought in my copying machine, I brought in the lunch box, and I brought in the office supplies. And Scala was waiting there. And we waited for Former. And Former came down, and the first thing he did was to do away with the copy machine. And I asked him, why won't you let us make copies? He doesn't have an answer. He doesn't have an answer that's respectable. And he turned on his heels and he went into the elevator and told Scala to follow him. So I waited out in the lobby. Then I see Scala holding the door. And then Robert, another insecurity, person, higher, carried the box and the copying machine and took it into the elevator. And Former says, no, leave that copying machine down here. Folks, what's the matter with these people? So Franklin and I spent from 10:30 to 4:45 copying by hand the names and addresses and the number of shares of something like, I would say around about 250 shareholders, 20 pages. The shareholders list is 80 pages long. We could have had the whole thing copied in 45 minutes. Why not? Franklin did a terrific job and stuck with it, and we stayed there until 5 o'clock, business hours, and we didn't give up. At 2 o'clock I went out and I walked Rusty, and I fed him his lunch. Poor doggy. And so around 4:45, Former came in, and this is what he said.
Why won't you let us copy the list?
Because,
Come answer.
however, I do have some information.
Ah! Hooray!
It has nothing to do with you, Glendora, but
Of course.
He said, we have some other information for you, dodging the question, why don't you let us copy? He said the meeting Friday has been adjourned. And Glendora said, hooray! He said it had nothing to do with you. Well, it did. Glendora takes full credit for it, because remember, Glendora asked the court to annul the meeting, everything that happened at the meeting, on the basis of they're violating the Delaware law and the New York law. And
I won't argue that with anyway, so if you adjourn. Do about what? I want to see that.
so I asked him why, and of course, you know Former, he doesn't answer. He covers up. And he says there's a press release on it. It just went out. And I said, I want to see the press release. He says, I will get you a copy.
What's going on here? Hey, Robert, when you won't answer my question, then get me somebody who will.
no.
10 minutes to 5. And Charles Dolan?
The president of the right page yet?
I asked to have the meeting adjourned. I asked to have it nullified.
So So we waited around for 15 minutes for the press release, and he copped out of that. He copped out of that.
We're brilliant company.
That's to Roger.
Bankruptcy case. I helped him. He lived in Manhattan. I helped him with that bankruptcy case. Then he had a heart attack.
Trying to remember Fred's last name. And so Joe Scala comes along after I waited for this press release, and he said that Former has left the building. I know that to be a lie, because I just saw, after that I saw Former go along the balcony. It's a wonder he didn't slink closer to the wall so I couldn't see him. But I saw him from the lobby going along the balcony. Now, isn't that something? He goes back on his word like that. I'm going to get you the press release, and then he doesn't get it. So, Forma said that the meeting would be open and it would be adjourned. Glendora says, I have to come and see that.
Candy bar. Put these back to where they were. That's a big victory. I'm coming to see this meeting opened and adjourned. We won another round. They're impressive when they all go at once. They're leading us here.
They put the lights on, and it's really impressive when they do it all at once.
Questions because he doesn't have any answers. So if he doesn't answer the questions, I gotta hunt around and find somebody else to answer the questions.
Former said that the reason that I couldn't make copies was given in Cell House letter. No way at all. Cell House letter did not change the law. The law says, the New York law says, that I can make copies. And Cell House's letter did not change the law. It has to be the state legislature to do that.
Bye-bye. Hello, David Dyke. How are you? Good, thanks. You work for Rainbow now? Do you like it? What happened to your black hair, David?
Watch it.
No, it didn't. Certainly didn't. Last time I saw you. Why was the meeting canceled? Why was the meeting canceled? Why? I want to see the press release. David was going. Charles was going to bring me a copy.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's explained. I don't have it, but it is publicly reported.
Oh?
Right down there.
No. Nobody.
Okay.
You're not going to give it to me?
I don't have it.
Okay, fine.
Sure?
Yeah, no, definitely you should.
Just take the key.
No, not that way, Roger. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thanks. Where you work here?
So that was another liar, David Deitch, of many years back. You have the record on him. So I went down, we hung around and hung around and hung around.
Where you work here?
A couple months.
Two. Thank you very much, Roger. Marie, I'm waiting for the press release, why the meeting was canceled Friday, and Charles Foreman said he was going to get it for me, Marie. Okay? Well, no, 2551. How are you, Maria? Good, thanks. Franklin, see the blue lights.
Now here's very pleasant fellow Joe Scala lying for foreman.
Gravy, Maria. Rice. Ooh, can't you tell you?
Here comes Joe Scala.
Oh, no.
So I can't do anything for you.
Oh, no, he said he would get me one.
Yeah,
He's going back on his word.
He's gone. And I really can't do anything.
Right that he should go after he gave me his word that he would give me a press release, and then he skipped out.
I'm not sure what his schedule was, so it's not fair for me to say. I'm just...
No, that's not the issue. The issue is that he gave me his word, he'd give me a press release.
Okay.
And he leaves the building, so you say, without giving it to me. Now, that's not right. There's somebody else who's got a press release.
Well, from what I was told, that it was already released.
This is? Well, I don't think that you want this on the front page of the New York Times. Bad. Bad. Bad faith. Tell me that. The building. And misrepresenting. You don't want me to see the press release. Okay, I'll call up and ask somebody to read it to me over the phone. Good night, Roger. I don't see how you people can work for such a bunch of liars. Take care.
And that's it. We went across the street on a private property. And I took Rusty for a walk. And then we got in the car and we left. What time is it now, please?
6:03.
6:03, and there's a tie-up where? Shelter Rock Road. But you know something, folks? Just as soon as you leave Nassau County, this congestion dissolves. Then you go flipping along to Queens, to the Fogs Neck Bridge. Since Cell House is in charge of investor relations, why doesn't she show up? Former is not in charge of investor relations. David Deitch used to be. You see that, folks? Just the minute you leave Nassau, you can move along. Infallibly. I think they canceled the meeting because they knew they had done wrong, and they knew they had been caught, and that they were going to have to face Glendora in front of everybody else at that meeting, and they were going to have to be told, listen to what they had done. They still haven't sent me the bylaws. They still haven't sent me the minutes of the meeting of June the 6th. They still haven't sent the certificate of authority. And they haven't sent the certificate of incorporation. These are all the dials on a Lincoln.
All the what?
All the dials. Like an airplane. Going for a nice walk, Rusty? Did you say that Former got the word from somebody, don't let Glendora see the press release? Because they probably weren't telling the truth in the press release? So a little background. The meeting is scheduled for November 10th, Friday. And on November 8th, Wednesday, after 5 p.m., they adjourn the meeting. Is this a well-run company? What baseball park is that?
It's a football park. I don't know whether it's Yonkers Schools or whether it's...
Yonkers.
Yeah.
This is Pelham.
No, that's Yonkers. Well, that's the Yonkers.
So we got home at 7 o'clock. Glendora walked Rusty. Franklin was cold and tired and numb. So we turned on the oven, baked him biscuits, and turned on the stove top and made him green tea that Patrick Gulino had given us. And then we gave him green peas. He wanted green peas on biscuits. And it was good. And he had dessert. And we got to bed by 9 o'clock. All the other chores: feed the dog, feed the cats, clean up the kitchen, unload the car, and thus closed the 22nd day of sunshine. Today is November 9th, Thursday. Good news. I found these new pickets, not the old ones, on the, whatever you call it, where the steps are. And that gave me a clue that maybe the fence was done. And surely enough, it's done. And then when it gets daylight, I'll show it to you, and it looks beautiful. Oh, it looks so nice. And the yard is sort of swept out there to the south side of the house. So we have to work on this fire. It's an hour and a half, excluding this fire, to do the chores in the morning. Take care of the dog and the cats, and Rusty go out and take his jaunt. He was late this morning. He didn't get back until 35 minutes. He's a watchdog. Usually he comes back un punto in 30 minutes. And so now it's 20 minutes to 7. Get this fire going, do the logs, and do the to-do list, which are hopeless. Hopeless. Over 150 jobs are backlogged. Isn't that right, Jenny? Isn't it right, Jenny? Yeah. Finally got this fire going a little. Here are some questions to ask at the meeting November 10th, which is going to be adjourned. 1, you get paychecks. I do not. I'm a volunteer. And I work more hours and harder every day than you do. I want an order from you to see the shareholders list and have Franklin see it on Tuesday, November 14th, and have Franklin copy it, pages 21 to 80, on my desk copier. 5, Sal House is incompetent. She doesn't do her job, which is investor relations. She has to be fired. Former is incompetent. He does not answer questions. He does not know what is going on. He turns his back and goes into the woodwork. 7, Former walked out on Glendora last night in the press release. He promised to give her a press release, and then he went back on his word, and he had a security hire cover up for him, but it didn't work. Anybody could see through the lie. Now this is deliberately dishonest behavior. You are crooked people. Why is the meeting adjourned? Other than the fact that Glendora has demanded that the United States District Court, Delaware, annul everything that happens at the November 10th meeting because you violated Delaware law and New York law. Glendora wants to Section 1315, New York State Business Corporation Law, foreign corporation says that a foreign corporation, upon a proper request, and I made the proper request September 26th, must be shown the shareholder list and must be allowed to make copies and must be allowed to have her agent see the list. to have her agent see the list and make copies. And Section 1316 of that same law says that I have a right to see the voting trust records. So will you have those ready on November 21st? That's the week of Thanksgiving. Because you break the law and because you do so many bad things, you are insecure. And you crawl this place like maggots with insecurity hires.
Charles Foreman said we acted in good faith.
So is something.
So is Cablevision.
Oh.
That it was a mistake. Okay? That it was a mistake. And so you can come to see them this afternoon or Wednesday or Thursday. Really, when I called at 5:30, I asked him, can we copy them? And he said, the rules are the same. You cannot copy them. What you should do in that case is you should show him the demand for September 26th, where I gave the proper request, said I wasn't going to use them, sell the list, and that request is still valid, and that you do this by the New York law. You've had your 5 days and then some, and it says I am to make copies. And what's this word? Oh, that's good, right. It was not intentional. Good for you, Franklin. You can read this writing of mine, and I can't. It's not intentional, not something up here. Try to declare try to tell you I called to tell you you were right. Well, you were correct.
Oh.
Yeah, you were correct.
I see.
Come this afternoon to see the list. It had the same cover
Yeah, right.
as the other list, and Vicky just picked it up by mistake.
Right.
You can believe that, Franklin? Boy, you can believe that. I can't. Well, it's Wednesday morning, and Franklin and I are trying to figure this out. So it's too bad that I didn't have a clean sheet of paper. Not that my writing would be any more legible. And do that as part of the record. And the next time you get an unexpected call like that, Glendora,
And I'll get the...
he didn't call you. He didn't leave you, sorry. Wait! Franklin! Non-corpus mentis. Wait a second, I'm going to give Rusty a cookie. Now remember me, Maya.
Yeah, that's right. Monday, time frame critical where I can do it on Monday. wasn't bad. The weather was...
You said you weren't going to do anything, remember? Yeah. I got 2 more boxes.
Okay.
Transformer. I want a room with a tub.
Jacuzzi. We only have jacuzzis left. Okay, 1 second.
City view? Yeah. It's quite a distance, but we might be able to work something out. Something up on the bird tower with a pair of binoculars.
Dear.
The man says I want a room with a... Oh, the clerk says you want a room with a tub or with a shower. And the man says, what's the difference? And the clerk says, well, with a tub you get a chance to sit down.
He'll be down in a minute for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Warren Paul,
Okay.
Matt from Unique Sanitation.
Matt. No president yet. How do you like that?
And then stuff the ballot boxes.
And I'll call Warren. Good morning. It's Helen. I have Matt from Unique Sanitation here to see Warren. Thank you. Bye. I guess the phone was loud. You may take a seat right over there. They'll be out to you in a moment. Thanks. Hi. Okay, now. Charles Former. Speak.
Charles Former.
Are you here to see Charles Former? Do you have a meeting with him?
Yes.
You have an appointment?
Yes. Yes, and I'm late. And I apologize. I am 40 minutes late. And I apologize. Excuse me.
Was the traffic?
No, traffic's perfect.
Hi, Caroline. It's Helen. I have Glendora here for her appointment with Charles. Thanks. Bye.
Do you know that this is the 22nd day of sunshine? 22nd day of sunshine.
What do you mean?
We've had 22 days of sunshine.
Oh, really?
No rain.
Well, it's been very, very
Nice.
beautiful weather.
Very nice.
Exceptional. I hope it continues with the oil delay.
$1.64 a gallon.
Insane, but it's, well, I think we are gonna, now that you mentioned that, we are gonna get some rain tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Thursday. But I just thank God for the 22 days. It's just beautiful because we had no August.
Almost every day.
Yes, one for Franklin too. We had no August.
Right. But this, I'd rather have the September, October, and November. That was
Yeah.
good.
Franklin's walking the dog. The dog is not coming in.
Dog? That's the dog?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. Trying to find him a home. He's a lovely dog. Dog.
Looking like,
He's brown. About 65 pounds.
the fever resident?
Somebody left a couple of
Like a something. Everything.
wrong with. I saw him in the, thank you. I saw him in the garage. Oh, look, you spelled it with a Y. Aren't you smart?
Is that right?
That's right. I found him in a garage. And that was no place for a dog.
How long ago?
Grease and dirt. Oh, I've had him about 6 weeks. So I said to Joe, the owner of the garage, I said to Joe, I better find him a home. He's, oh, that would be great. There's no place for a dog down in the Bronx in a repair shop. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Want me to start now?
Please.
My desk, I want to see. I'm sorry? Say it again? No. This is cable dish.
Public access. Oh, very well. Public access is getting stronger and stronger.
Very good.
Even Cablevision can't defeat it.
Very good.
Yeah. Do you see the program
I haven't seen it.
recently?
No, I haven't seen it recently. I've been.
What town are you in?
I'm in the Hicksville.
Hicksville. That's that Friday at 10 p.m.
Friday at 10 p.m. I'll make it my business to watch it.
Yeah, Hicksville's a nice place. I like it. They got the best post office I know of.
It's a very busy one.
Yes. Oh, well, they're all busy. I'm telling you, you can't go to any post office without standing in line.
Well, they just opened up a new one on in Hicksville, actually, another one, which is actually, I guess it's considered the Bethpage area. It's a borderline of Hicksville and Bethpage. It's on 107, heading towards Hempstead Turnpike. It's on your right-hand side. They just opened another one up. So it's actually considered Bethpage. I'm sure it's the Bethpage post office.
Is it a center or is it a post office? Is it a...
I just think it's a post office. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why, because Hicksville's so busy, but Hicksville's a very good post office.
yeah.
Even though I'm from Westchester, I know that. And they're open all night.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I never heard of a post office.
This is Joe Scala. Joe Scala reminds me of Bernie Galley. Unusually good personality.
You're way ahead of us. We have a huge postal Westchester center. It goes for, it's bigger than this, really. And, but we don't have all night.
No. Not many people do, actually.
See, we edited in Hicksville for quite a few years. The public access editing was in Hicksville. It was nice. It was really nice. It was very interesting. It's where the head end is.
Right. It is a... Where are you doing it now?
Glenbrook.
Okay.
But that's nicer.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because the only thing that's in Glenbrook is a customer service center. There's only 3 people there.
Okay.
And then we have the studio there, big studio. And we have a great big control room for that studio. Then we have our editing room for public access. It's all public access. And so, and it's state of the art. Well, all right, I take that back. It isn't. Digital is state of the art now. And thank God they're not doing that. Manhattan Public Access is doing it. I believe Queens is nibbling away at it. Digital editing. That means I'd have to...
Digital's a big thing now.
I'd have to learn all over again. And I don't want to do that. And it would slow me down. So, now at Lynbrook, there's only Pat and Rob, and then the public access person. And it's quiet, and it's really nice. And it was terrible when we first went there. Franklin, who's very mild-mannered, said, "This is a dump." Really? And I told Jeff, he's coming, he's walking the dog. And so I told Charles Dolan, and I think James Dolan, I said, "You got to do something about Lindbergh. Even Franklin says it's a dump." And so, they did. They came down. Yeah, that's right. I was surprised. I was really shocked when he said that. So they came down, they went through it, they put in new wall-to-wall carpeting, they put in all new wallpaper, they painted, blacktop the parking lot, put parking sign strips in it. I think they bought a new sofa. So they just fix it up. It's perfect now.
Are they going to give you a conference room thing?
Yes, that's what he asked me, unless I mixed it all up by being late. I asked him for 8:30 appointment, and he says, "Well, could you make it 9:15 so I can line up the people in the conference room?" I said, "Okay, we'll make it 9:30.
Okay.
And I messed that up. I'm sorry.
Great.
You see, they gave us the wrong list Friday. And I told him it was a wrong list.
Yes, I heard that you,
It was a wrong list. I told him that.
to speak to him again, and he was in a meeting. I tried to get in touch with him, but
No, he came down.
he did actually.
He came down twice.
Okay, good.
He came down twice, and I told him it was a wrong list, and he kept saying, "No, it's the official list." Yesterday, after we sued them, we filed a lawsuit against them yesterday. That's right, it was yesterday, and Franklin served it. After the lawsuit, he called me up at Lindbergh in editing time and told me, "You are correct. That was the wrong list." And he said the covers were the same. I don't believe this. The covers were the same, and Vicky picked up the wrong list. Well, I just don't believe that. And so in my lawsuit, I said that they deliberately kept me from communicating with I don't have time now to communicate with other shareholders because the meeting's Friday.
Right.
And as I said, they willfully and maliciously kept me.
Attend the meeting,
Oh, sure. Prevented me from, prevented me from communicating with other shareholders. And then I said many things I said in my wherefore, but one of them was that everything that happens at the meeting November 10th Friday be annulled because of their illegal action and not having the shareholder list ready 10 days before the meeting, because that's a Delaware law. So I sued them in Delaware, United States District Court. Hello, Franklin. Would you like to sign in? How's the dog? Do you know whether Charles Dolan's going to be at this special meeting?
Charles Dolan will be at the meeting.
Really?
Yes, he will be.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know if James Dolan will be at the meeting?
I
Don't know that one.
believe
Because the last special meeting we had, which was in 1998, Charles Dolan went to Japan.
Yeah, I mean, but their plans may change last minute, and from what I understand,
Look.
he's supposed to be the host.
And I said to Franklin, "Why is he going to Japan?" And Franklin says he's going there to buy it. And Helen already has your LYN ready. The conference room where we're going to be presenting, so we can get it set up. So, were you born in Hicksville?
No, actually, I was born in Astoria, Queens.
See that? That's the migration, you know. That's the way the people migrate. And you know that Lynbrook is Brooklyn backwards?
That's a good point.
No, no problem.
Yeah, thank you. That's, I like that.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Lynbrook's a nice town.
Yes, it is. And so they migrated. What would your daddy do? What did he do?
He was a carpenter.
That's nice. My lord was a carpenter. My lord.
Back then, it was always with the hands. Everyone made a living with their hands. It's different now.
Yeah.
Now it's all computers and technology.
Well, it's a great skill. Good morning, Charles.
How are you?
Good morning, Charles. I apologize for being late.
That's okay.
I'm really sorry. I did it throw everything off your conference room?
A little bit. Not the conference room, but I have a 10:30 conference call, and I was in a meeting, and that's what delayed me.
Oh, well, you weren't delayed. I delayed you. I'm sorry.
Okay. May I ask, do you have your letter, your request for inspection?
No, I didn't make one.
Okay. Can I ask you to give me another copy tomorrow, or just put one in the mail?
Okay, you want another copy. And before we go, you want another, a new letter. Same thing, same date. Well, I was saying it because it was a wrong list Friday. I will say that. I made a proper request on September the 26th for inspection by the New York State Foreign Corporation Law 1315.
I'm not here to talk about that.
No, but wait, no, I'm here to make that request right now. And on the basis of that you never delivered, you had 5 days to deliver it, you did not. On the basis of that, I would like to make my request today on the New York law because it says I can copy, and when my agent can copy.
We are not, you have our letter with regard to New York law. I believe it was Vicky's October 13th.
And you have my letter refuting that.
And we have your letter where you challenge it. We are holding by our October 13th.
No.
I am only here to talk to you about...
Okay, but I'm making that request right now. I want it known. I'm making that
We
request.
understand it's a continuing. We do not believe it is valid. And can we...
Yeah, but wait a second.
I really don't have...
That letter that Victoria wrote...
I don't have a lot of...
No, you're the one who has to hear this. Now, if you can't hear it, you send somebody down who can hear it. Somebody has to hear this request.
Let's go.
Let's see. Charles walked out. I don't think we're following them, Franklin. Are we? Are we following you?
Yes.
We have 2 boxes. Okay. Hi. Thank you. What's your name?
Robert.
Hi, Robert. That's pretty heavy. How can you take that? Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Is this a certified list, Charles?
That's the copying machine. The copying machine will stay down here at the... I'll take that. Okay. I'll leave it for the door, same place behind his bed.
Okay, on the front desk. Is this list certified?
It is not certified list, nor does it have to be under Delaware law.
It does not have to be certified under Delaware law?
Correct.
Well, I don't think I buy that. Do you know if James Aldona is coming to the meeting Friday? Are we getting out here? Okay. What'd you say your name was, Robert? Thank you, Robert, for carrying that.
And that's it, folks. There were some other people in the conference room, and they admitted that they were there without a reservation, and the informer started to call up to see if he was correct that he had the conference room. And the people picked up, and as they were leaving, I said, don't be upset. You've been thrown out of better places than this. And everybody laughed. That's good. We needed the laughter. And so, Former didn't give us the B list. Well, that's okay, because I really made a thorough job of the B list. And he gave me his word for what it's worth. His word is not worth anything. That the B list hadn't changed since Friday. And he said on his scout's honor. And, We sat down. Robert sat 3 feet from us, facing us, staring at us. But Robert Roman's very nice. We enjoyed his company. Except we should have been alone. And Franklin called out the names, page 1, and Glendora wrote them down. And at first it took 15 minutes to do a page, and then we got it down to 13 minutes to do a page, and then 12 minutes. And one page we got down in 5 minutes. We kept trying to beat the record, but we couldn't. It was mostly around 8 or 9 minutes each page. And we pushed ourselves, and we got up to page 6, and then I said we were going to do 7, 8, 9, 10. I didn't know what to do. You know, it's ridiculous for us to sit there and copy those pages and those names and those addresses and the number of shares. When we have a copying machine, a desktop copying machine, we'd be out of the building within an hour. And all that personnel money would not be wasted. Certainly the money they spend on Charles Former is wasted. And always has been. And we labored away, and we did page 7, then we did page 8, and we did page 9. And I said, my plan is we're going to do up to 10 pages, because I didn't know really what to do, except that we were there, and we had to make the most of it. And I said, when I do page 10, I'll have to go to the bathroom, and then I'll go to the car, and then I'll walk Rusty, and I'll feed him his dinner, which I brought. I packed his lunch. And so I did at 2 o'clock. And while I was gone, poor Franklin did page 11, all by himself. We tried doing it the other way with my reading the names and the addresses and Franklin writing them down, but that one took almost 29 minutes. So we went back to doing it with Franklin reading the names and Glendora putting them down. And we got back at 3 o'clock and we had our food box. I'm so tired of eating out of a food box. I want a good meal. And I made a peanut butter sandwich, but it did taste good with a cup of water, warm water. And then around 4 o'clock we broke the monotony by asking Roger, who fell asleep by the way. Robert went away, and Roger came and he just sat and stared. And he fell asleep, and I don't wonder that he did. Look at all that money, shareholder money, your money sent in for cable TV. Look how they squander it. And we came back and we made ourselves do pages 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then we ran into Dolan's. Dolan's, ho hum, ho hum. And the same old thing, 600 shares and 300 shares, and clustered around Cleveland and clustered around St. Louis. There are quite a few of them in Long Island, too. It's pathetic. We pushed ourselves to do 17 and 18, and by 19 we were encouraged. That was the next to the last page. Our goal, the list is 80 pages long, but that was the next to the last page, our goal. Page 20. Oh, and we forgot to copy the stats. That was bad. The stats on page 78, we should have done that. And it was certified, by the way. Charles doesn't know what he's doing, Charles Former. He doesn't know what he's doing. None of the Charleses do. Charles Ferris or Charles Dolan. And it was actually certified, but the list is very, very old, folks. It's September 30th, 5 weeks ago. So I told Roger, don't you dare let him tell us to pack up. We know the law. The law says business hours, and business hours are over at 5 o'clock. And we will go on our own motion. At 10 minutes to 5, just as we finished, Former came in the door. And Glendora says, why do we have to sit here and copy this by hand when we could do it with a copying machine in an hour? Why won't you let us copy the list? This is medieval. He had no answer again. No answer. Then he goes on to say, I have some information.